JMath.
In the next video, we will look at analytical geometry for grade 12 when they give you the extended formula for a circle. And remember, we want it in the format where we have a bracket with x's in and a bracket with y's in, and then we can see the radius. So let's look at the steps. Firstly, you are going to shuffle that the x's are together and that the y's are together. You can move the constant number to the right-hand side. So if I look at the top left block, that's 0.75, I can just move to the other side. Now I am going to write the standard form, but I'm going to leave a space for where a and b should be. Now, I'm going to check what is the coefficient of just x. So what is standing right in front of x? In this case, it's the minus 6. I'm going to half that and write it in the first bracket. So the sign stays exactly the same as it was. Then for the y bracket, I'm going to look at the coefficient of y, so that plus 5. I'm going to half it, and then I'm going to write it in the second bracket. The key that you must now remember is, on the other side with the 0.75, I must square those two numbers that I just wrote in the brackets and add it to the right-hand side. Perfect. Then a and b would be the center, I just have to change the signs, and then the square root of the right-hand side is the radius. Okay, if that was too much, just copy this block. I'm going to do examples, and then hopefully it makes complete sense when we are done. Let's do the question on the left. First thing I'm going to do is write the x's next to each other. So x squared minus 6x plus y squared minus 5y equals 0.75. Now, I know this bracket is going to have an x in. There's a square. There's always a plus between. That's a y squared, and the 0.75 is there. Now, I am going to take this value and this value. I'm going to half them and write them in the bracket. So this will just be a minus 3. This would be minus 5 over 2. In this same step, I must now plus minus 3 squared and then plus 5 over 2 squared. And therefore, the final answer to this question would be x minus 3 squared plus y minus 5 over 2 squared is equal to, and you just type this in the calculator, and according to the calculator, this answer is 16. Now remember, the question normally with this is, what is the center and the radius? So the center in this case would be positive 3, positive 5 over 2, and the radius would be the square root of 16, always positive, so this is just a 4. Let's do that again, and try it this time, see if it makes sense. Firstly, I'm going to shuffle, so x squared minus 10x plus y squared plus 14y is equal to minus 66. Now, I can just half the 10, so minus 5 goes there, plus 7 goes there. I must add 5 squared. So remember, you can write the minus there. It's going to square away anyway. And then this is just plus 7 squared. So the final form of this circle would be x minus 5 in a bracket squared plus y plus 7 in a bracket squared is equal to minus 66 plus 74, which would then make the center 5 and negative 7, and the radius would just be the square root of 8. With the third question, it looks like they only gave me half of a formula or something is missing, but this is not a mistake. You can still get the center and the radius of this circle. It's just going to be a bit quicker and easier. So I know I'm just going to reshuffle, so that's a minus 6x plus y squared is equal to 0. The first bracket is going to be x minus 3 squared, and the next one, I can say y minus 0, but I can also just leave it as y squared. And then on the other side, I must just plus 3 squared. So therefore, x minus 3 squared plus y squared is equal to 9, and therefore the center will be 3 and 0, whilst the radius is just 3. So sometimes it is just, looks like half a formula, but you can still get all the info from there. The last question they give me the formula is the equation of the circle with a diameter of 4 root 3. Determine the value of p. So firstly, I am going to get this into standard form. So I know it is x squared minus 2px plus y squared. I don't see another y in that formula, so I'm just going to move the 7p to the other side. Now I know this is going to be x minus, I just need to half that, so that's just 1p squared plus y squared is then equal to 4 minus 7p plus p squared, because in the first bracket I just wrote a p. Now, that's as far as I can go, because they didn't want the center yet, but they want the value of p. So I know the radius is equal to the square root of 4 minus 7p plus p squared, and I also know the diameter is 4 root 3, but I would need to work with the radius. So therefore, the radius is half of that, which would then just be 2 root 3. Now I have two separate values for the radius, and to find the value of p, I can just make them equal to each other. So 4 minus 7p plus p squared is equal to 2 root 3. I do not like all these square roots, so I'm just going to square, but remember, I'm squaring the entire left and the entire right. This just cancels, so this is p squared minus 7p plus 4 is equal to 4 times 3, so that just gives me a 12. Then I can simplify and say this is p squared minus 7p, and then 4 minus 12 gives me minus 8. Okay, I'm running out of space, so I can just do my trinomial on this side and say this would be p minus 8 and p plus 1. If you're uncertain about this trinomial, just use the quadratic formula, or just go check for a video on the channel where we do trinomials, just search for it. And this is still equal to 0, and therefore p would either be 8 or p would be minus 1. In question B, they asked me to write down the coordinates of the center to the circle. I now need to do the sum twice because both p values are valid. So if I just take the 8, then it would be x minus 8 squared plus y squared would be equal to 2 root 3 squared, because they told me that is what the diameter and then the radius would be. So if I look at this, the center of the circle would just be 8 and 0, whilst the radius is equal to 2 root 3. But the p-value is also equal to minus 1, and therefore the equation might as well have been x plus 1 squared plus y squared is equal to 2 root 3 squared, and in this case, the center would be minus 1 and 0, and the radius would equal 2 root 3. So watch out. If you get two separate answers for your variables, then there are two possible circles. Now you know how to find the equation, the center and the radius of each circle, but in exams, these questions can get really tricky. So please practice a few with me in the next video before we dive deeper into this chapter.
If this video helped you, please like and subscribe.
JMath.